Hello everyone, I hope you're doing well and I hope that you have a magnificent day. I am here to do an intuitive card reading to see what insights, guidance, and messages the universe would like to share with us at this time, especially in regards to rest and patience and allowing yourself to breathe. A lot of us think the process is all about action, all about being on the go, all about doing, making things happen. And yes, that's part of it, but part of the process as well is rest. Think about the trees. The whole process of going through a year with the trees is just like, yes, it'll grow all this new life, it'll have all these blooms, it'll have fruit, it'll be vibrant, and then as fall comes around, the leaves start to change colors and the tree releases them and it goes into the rest and like a hibernation through the winter. So that's the same for us. Rest is a part of the process, In that stillness, in that rest, you are able to replenish yourself. You're able to rejuvenate yourself. You can restore your energy levels. You can, help your spirit get reinvigorated. And it's how your dreams can take root, because in the rest, in the quiet, in the stillness, you can get all these insights, all these inspirations, and you can have this great idea that just launches you into your next season of action. So don't, get upset with yourself for having rest or needing rest, because it's a natural part of being human. Your body needs rest. Rest doesn't mean you're lazy. It means you're taking care of yourself and you're filling up your cup. Okay? So let's take a look at the cards and see what else the universe wants us to know. Funny that I was talking about trees. But yeah, it's interesting that I was bringing up the trees and then this card comes up, and also where I am in the northern hemisphere, we're getting ready to transition into fall, so this feels very on point. But Auburn, ground yourself. In order for us to reach great heights, we need to be grounded. We need to have a solid foundation. We need to have those deep roots. And if we're ungrounded and we just keep stretching upward, growing, eventually we're going to be top heavy and topple over, And so this is why the universe is having us rest more. Doesn't mean we're always resting. Some days you can be really energized and be doing so much, but other days, other weeks, other seasons, you're going to need more rest. Like, after all of my burnout from working those multiple jobs, I needed a lot of rest. And there are times where I still need more rest than I would like, because I still am kind of dealing with the aftermath of it. But it helps us ground. It helps us get connected to ourselves, because when we rest, when we take time for quiet and stillness, we can reconnect with ourselves and the divine. We can do the journaling. We can do the meditation, the prayer, having the daydreams, visualizing, all these things. We can have, just moments of stillness where the insights come in. And so it's important to stay grounded, because I'm pretty sure I heard or read somewhere that trees have to grow as far down as they grow up in order to stay stable. And that makes sense, because, if their branches are extended a whole bunch, they would need to, not be top heavy, so they'd need to have the weight down below too. But yeah, we need to ground ourselves and have strong roots, because that's what's going to set us up for success. And that's why the universe a lot of times will force us to rest if we refuse. Like, I know a former friend, she was very much in the go, and if you hear noises in the background, Suki's playing with her toys and is attacking a dangling toy with a bell. But she was constantly on the go, constantly having to be productive. She was in New York at the time, so busy New York, and just constantly on the go, never a slow moment. And I'm pretty sure the universe had been trying to get her to slow down for a while. God, source, creator, whatever you'd like to label it as, was trying to get her to slow down, and she refused. Part of it was she was running away from a lot of things. She was very ungrounded. She was constantly on the go, trying to not have things catch up with her. And then during a icy storm one time, she slipped and I don't know if it was her back or her leg or what, but she could not walk. And so she was forced to rest and heal and to slow down and, be in the stillness, be in the quiet. So if we aren't careful, the universe will take matters into its own hands. It doesn't want to, but it's like, okay, tough love, you're not listening. And it's like a loving parent, because you don't want your child to harm themselves. So sometimes you need to step in with consequences, boundaries and limits, But the universe wants us grounded so we can reach those great heights. Right? Violet, create a balanced life. So many of us are living out of balance. So many of us are in that busy energy and can get frantic like chicken with their heads cut off, like constantly on the go, constantly doing things. Just go, 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 go. And the universe saying, hey, you're out of balance. Not that it's bad to be productive. Not that it's bad to do things. Not that it's bad to be out in the world. But there needs to be a balance. Because if you're constantly pouring outward, the inside is suffering. And so the universe saying, hey, slow down. You need to rest. You need balance. Sort of like cats, Suki was sleeping for several hours before, and now she's all hyped up and ready to play with all sorts of toys. So cats are great at having the balance. They will rest and rest deep and hard, and then they also play hard. So that's the thing, like action and rest, like both are required for a balanced life. And so we're being asked to do that for ourselves now. And on the flip side, some people can rest too much. There are a couple of examples that come to mind. Not, like, I feel like maybe sometimes I might have, but I think that was just to try to get myself back into balance from all the go, go, go that I was conditioned into. But yeah, we need more balance. We need to be grounded and have balance, because I look at my mom, for instance. She is constantly adding more and more and more to her plate. And then she just starts lashing out at other people because she's overwhelmed and doesn't have any emotional regulation or being able to tell people no. She just keeps saying yes. And it's like, well, one, you're not asking for help. And if people try to help you, you deny it because you have control issues. But two, it's just like, it's not our fault you keep saying yes. Like, you could, get help. You could... what's the word? Delegate. Like, it starts with a D. Yeah, you could delegate more because she's a co-owner of a company, but she's the only one who does certain things there. She's the one who has to do everything at the home. Like, she has control issues. And that could be said for a number of us. But yeah, this rest, Pearl, connect to the divine. The world is our oyster. But the best way to tap in and to make it the fullest of that, to reach our full potential, is to connect with the divine. Because we can do things on our own human terms. It's not like we have no power. It's not like we're incapable, we're incompetent, we can do nothing. But in comparison to the divine, like, in a way, it's kind of like we can't do anything. Like, I've been hearing about all these companies who are like, oh yeah, we did it all on our own. And then, like, there are people who are like, yeah, I'm hearing things and it's the divine's not happy and it can take it away. Like, it wasn't through you. And, like, being in divine alignment, taking the inspired aligned action will get so much more done than anything we could on our own. And that's part of the reason why the universe is coming in and asking us to rest, because it allows us to receive. We don't have to constantly be giving, be putting out, just be like pouring out of ourselves, putting energy out into the world like that through action. Like, the universe saying, hey, things can come to you. That's not to say that we never act, because the universe also, again, it's the balance. It doesn't want us to constantly just be thinking about things and be waiting like, someday. But if we can connect to the divine, we will have the eyes to see and the ears to hear. We will see the signs. We will hear the messages. We will get the insights and know what it means. even if we don't know exactly all the ins and outs and don't have all the answers, like if we get that intuitive, nudge from the divine to like, you should do this. And, your mind may try to fight and be like, but it doesn't make any sense. But it's just like, you should go to this place. And it's like, but why? And it's like, you should go to this place. Because the universe knows all the components at play. It has your back. It is setting you up for success. It is working magic and miracles behind the scenes. It is co-creating with you. But you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. So, if the universe is literally leading you to the water, it's like, hey, you should go here. Hey, this good things will happen here. Hey, take this route instead. Hey, go try this new hobby. Hey, go pick up this book. Whatever it is, the universe knows, but it respects our free will. It can't force us, if we're going to just keep denying the signs. It's going to keep, acting as the, divine GPS system helping us get to where we're going. But it's going to have to redirect. And it may, stretch out the process than if we had just listened in the first place, I remember with some of my art classes, there would be people, like fellow students, who wouldn't, put down, I think it was called, butcher paper and stuff to, on the tables. And then they'd have a whole big mess to clean up at the end. And, the instructors would always be telling prevention is better than cleanup. And so, they keep saying, you want to put this down before you do your art. They wouldn't listen, and so they'd have to spend all this time cleaning up. Whereas the people who did put down the paper would just be able to take up the paper and get rid of it. They didn't have to scrub the table and use soap and all these cleansers. They had easy cleanup. And so that's what the universe is saying. If you just listen, I know what's up. I know all the components in place. If you listen when I speak, it's going to be a whole lot easier for you. It's going to respect our free will, but it's like, hey, connect in with me because I have all the answers. I will share what you need to know at certain times. Your human ego may feel like you need to know more, but I will share with you what you need to know. Are you going to trust and have faith? Are you going to listen? Are you going to act when I, give out the calling for you to act? And, plenty of people don't. They start writing it off in the mind, making all these excuses and justifications. Yeah, lilac, strengthen your faith. That's the thing. The universe wants us to deepen our faith. It wants us to strengthen our trust, to keep the hope alive, to have an optimistic outlook, to be more grateful, to be looking for the signs and the messages because they're there. But, when we're running around frantically, going from thing to thing to thing, and we're all frazzled and overwhelmed like my mom, we're not going to be able to have the eyes to see and the ears to hear because our mind isn't in it. We don't have the clarity. It's in a haze of, the hecticness, the chaos, the, exhaustion, all of that. And so if we can slow down, if we can rest more, not to an extreme amount, again, we need balance, but then we will have the faith and we'll be able to hear the messages and then act accordingly. We won't because we'll take that leap of faith. We won't have to have, all the answers and all the justifications. Be like, I can't leave my comfort zone because it's scary and I don't know what will happen. It's like, just trust me. It's like those trust falls. And it's like, I got you. You will not fall. You will not get hurt. I got you. Just trust me. Do it. This is good. But you didn't explain what will happen and, all the factors and what this, and it's like, take one step at a time, go here, do this, find this resource, And it can be hard, I admit. I've been struggling with my faith at times. There were some very dark periods of my life, very dark seasons where all seemed bleak and the world was caving in on me, and I had my questions and my doubts, really? The divine, God, source, creator, the universe, whatever you want, is this a for real thing? Because this just feels like a whole lot of torture, a whole lot of suffering, a whole lot of pain, a whole lot of hardship, and it's just thing after thing after thing, and it's just what did I do? But the thing is, it's not about you and the divine. God, source, creator, the universe, whatever label you want to give it, has so much love for you. And with the whole balance thing, dark and light, positive, negative, like that, if the divine is, so loving, like there's going to be the opposite force, what some people call the enemy or the devil or Satan, like demons, whatever you want to call it. It's like, there's the negative out there too. There's the positively polarized and the negatively polarized. So all the hardships and stuff, that's not necessarily from the divine. Mind you, the universe, God, source, creator, the divine, it will use it all for your good. Like what happened with the toxic group and the narcissist, it was turned into my favor. It grew my strength. It grew my confidence and my, awareness of my worth and of my integrity, in that, like, I actually will, stick to my guns, so to speak, and I won't let other people dictate how I show up in the world, even when it gets very, very dark. Like, it was just confirmed like a million times over for me. It's like, okay. And so in that regard, it made me stronger and it helped strengthen my faith, and it was used for my benefit. It was horrible to go through. But yeah, Scarlet attracts success. I feel like it built me up, and it's just made it all the more inevitable for success to find me, because I've been shedding all these limiting beliefs and negative narratives. I don't think I'm 100% there yet, because, healing is a journey. It's a process. It's not like, oh, done. Like, there's usually always something else to do, because, life happens. People are going to people. They're going to make their choices. And it's not always, kind and loving. But all of this is setting us up for success. But think about it. Again, I can speak from experience, from the burnout, from working so many jobs that weren't paying enough and were just treating me like garbage and just like wringing me dry for everything I was worth, all of my energy, and like giving me chump change in return, and then tossing me out. I was like, no, you're not good enough. Like, if you do that, if you don't rest, because I was working like 19 plus hour days, all the days of the week, including weekends, because I was doing house sitting, pet sitting, tutoring, babysitting, all of it. And so I had completely emptied my cup, and I kept drawing from, the future energy, and it came back to bite me. And how successful can you be if you're burnt out and like you can't even find the energy to get out of bed? And all these people are going to try to claim that you're depressed. Like, no, I want to do things. Like, I'm excited for life. I just literally do not have the energy. And so it's like, how are you going to be successful like that? Which is why the universe is like, hey, have balance. Hey, you need to rest. Ground yourself, because constantly being on the go, it's not going to help you. You might think it is. Society's kind of conditioned and programmed us that that's how you get successful, that you have to grind, you have to hustle, you have to, get up at like 4 a.m, go to bed after like midnight or whatever, and then start it all over the next day. And it's like, but will you be able to keep up that pace? Are you really going to be successful? Again, going back to what people were talking about, companies were like, oh yeah, we did it all on our own. It's like, there's a divine component to this. You're co-creating with the universe. And so if we don't have, the balance, if we don't connect with the divine, if we don't have pure intentions, sooner or later that's going to catch up with us, because, you reap what you sow. The energy you put out comes back to you. If you are a bad tree, so to speak, you're going to have bad fruit. If you're a good tree, you're going to have good fruit. And so it's like, where's your energy going? What are your motives? Because that's also going to ultimately impact your success. You may have short-term success, having all these shady practices. And I'm not saying you specifically, but in general. But eventually it catches up with you. Karma and the like, you reap what you sow. The energy you put out comes back to you. And usually it comes back like multiple fold. Like, I've heard 3-fold, I've heard 10-fold, like just whatever it is. And I can speak from experience, observing and witnessing it happening to all those people who came against me, like that toxic group and the narcissist. I wasn't looking on them, I wasn't keeping tabs on them, and then all of a sudden all these people are like, oh yeah, did you hear this happened to them and that happened to them? And they're just like, man, it was karma. Like, I saw how they treated you. Like, this is the karma coming back and biting them hard. And I'm like, well, it's unfortunate because, I don't really want that happening to any other human being. I have a kind heart, but like, I can't help it with that. That's like divine retribution in a sense. Like, you reap what you sow. So this is how a lot of us are going to have this success, is because of what we're planting, because we're taking the time to rest and to nurture ourselves so we can grow stronger, grow taller, reach greater heights, right? First quarter moon in Libra, keep your heart open. I have seen so many people who have closed off their hearts, and when you close off your heart, you close off your mind, you're cutting yourself off from the divine. All the inspiration, all the insight, all the guidance, all the support. I mean, it's still going to try to support you, but you're putting up all this blocks. You're kind of shooting yourself in the foot and self-sabotaging, making it way harder than it needs to be. You're putting it all on your shoulders about how you have to do everything. When the divine's like, I can literally lighten your load. You can take things off your plate. I will handle it for you. But we close ourselves off. And you close yourself off from love. I've heard so many people talk about how humanity is doomed, like humanity is evil. And mind you, I've seen the darkness. I'm not going to say that everything is great about humanity. Humanity has its flaws. It can get really, really dark. I've seen the shadows up close and personal, and it's cut deep. But I've also seen the good in humanity. And like so many people, I've heard it from my siblings, I've heard it from people just on the street, like all these different things they'll talk about, like how all men are evil, all women are evil, they do this, they're horrible, they're nasty, there are no good men, there are no good women. It's like, when you put that energy out like that, you're only going to find the bad ones. Because yes, they exist out there both ways. Like with groups of people, there are, the rotten apples and there are good ones. And there's ones in between. And also, nobody is perfect. So it's like the yin-yang concept. There could be someone who is like mostly good or mostly evil, but they have a little bit of good in them if they're, quote-unquote bad. Or they have a little bit of quote-unquote bad in them if they're quote-unquote good. Because we all have the light and the shadow. We all have things we're working through. We all have our traumas and our triggers. We have the human ego. But keep your heart open, because people can surprise you when you do. When you're not constantly judging and criticizing them and writing them off in your head and be like, nope, they're a lost cause. And that can be with like job opportunities, all of that. Like anything and everything can be turned around with the divine. It's a matter of whether we're willing to let it in, willing to let the divine resolve things, to allow us to receive, to, work its magic and miracles. And that's why the universe is wanting us to have faith, because it really can work these magic and miracles. Really and truly. And yeah, another thing, new moon in Taurus, is to know your worth. Because if you don't know your worth, you'll be like me before, making what felt like just mere pennies for all the work that I was doing. People were taking advantage of me in work, supposed friends, family, ex-partners, that toxic group, the narcissists, like all of them. Because I wasn't truly certain about what my worth was, and so I devalued myself. I put up with less than I should, less than I deserved. I didn't know what I was inherently worthy of. And so, I settled for less. I made all these compromises, like, oh, it's okay, and it's like, not to say that you should have unreasonable expectations, because I've heard so many people like, if you can't do this, then you're no good. I won't even talk to you. You're not worth my time. Okay, but what if they're having a rough time? Like, people are at different seasons in their lives, and sometimes their best isn't that much and it would feel like lackluster. So it's like there also needs to be some support and grace given. But yeah, you shouldn't be putting up with people being nasty to you, disrespectful, creating smear campaigns and all that. No, just no. Don't play those games. Don't play those games with the people who are causing drama and chaos and, playing in deception and manipulation and gaslighting and validation, emotional blackmail, all of that. Don't be playing that. Know your worth, because too many people are playing those games, and it's not okay. And yeah, like I was saying earlier, full moon in Virgo, take inspired action. Take inspired action because that will get you the most results. It'll get you the most bang for your buck. Because, the traditional thing would be like, oh, I gotta go to a 9 to 5 and I gotta go, like, maybe get extra jobs because it's not paying me enough, this and the other. Well, so if you have the eyes to see and the ears to hear, and you are, taking the time to rest and connect with the divine and strengthen your faith, you'll get the intuitive insights, the hits from the universe where it's like, hey, you should go here. And you may not know why, but then there's, like stories in the Bible where it's like, open the mouth of the fish and you get a gold coin, and like more than covers like what you were stressing about. Like stuff like that happens. So this is why I was like, taking inspired action yields so much more results than trying to force it on our own, trying to, paddle upstream and force our way. The universe saying, hey, you can paddle downstream. I can hook you up. Like, listen here. It doesn't have to be so hard. Not to say that you'll never have to put in the work or that you'll never have to put in a lot of work for things, but it can result in so much better harvest if you're taking that inspired, aligned action than trying to force things to happen because of, limiting beliefs or negative narratives or whatever, You don't have to do it all on your own. The universe has your back. It really does. Okay, so we have the dog loyalty, and this feels like it's coming in a variety of ways. One, it's the universe, the divine's strong, unbreakable, unwaverable loyalty to you, how it will always have your back, it will always show up for you, it will always be working magic and miracles on your behalf and working things out for the highest outcome. But then there's also your loyalty to the divine, your loyalty to yourself, and the importance of loyalty overall. Because I've seen a lot of disintegration of loyalty and like people not showing up for anybody anymore and just like throwing them out. Like I've seen it happen in my personal life, but also in the wider world as well. And it's like people don't, not all people, but from many of my observations, people in general don't have integrity, accountability, loyalty, devotion, supportive, caring hearts. Like it just blows my mind because like I was surrounded by it with my family. Like just growing up, it just blows my mind. And then I go into the wider world and I see all these people claiming that they're friends, but as soon as the other person goes away, they start trash talking, doing blackmail, backstabbing, creating rumors and smear campaigns, but they act like they're best friends. I'm like, that's not friendship. Like what? And then like people will like act like they know what love is and like, oh, I love you, but it's like full of emotional blackmail, manipulation, gaslight, invalidation, belittling, darvo, like all these things. And it's just like they handing out ultimatums like, if you love me, you gotta do this, or otherwise you don't love me in the world. It's like, excuse you? I don't think you know what love is. And so I feel like that's part of what the universe wants to come through more. Not to, keep your loyalty to the wrong people, because I've done that. I'm an extremely loyal person. I feel like I've read it in my astrology chart because of my moon in Leo. Like I'm just like loyal to a fault, and it's like I have given my loyalty to the wrong people. But at the same time, I'm grateful that I'm loyal and that I care and that like I will show up for people no matter what, because that says more about my character than, how other people are treating me, because that says about their character. But yeah, if we can start, being loyal to one another again and just like showing up for one another again, it's gonna just be like world changing, life changing. Yeah, so much of this is all about the foundation, the coral. So many people don't have a strong foundation for their life. They basically built a house of cards on a bunch of sand. And like the smallest little disturbance can send it all crashing down. And it's because so many of us have focused the foundation on external factors. For instance, they'll say like, oh, you need to go into those traditional jobs, 9 to 5s and all that. You can build your career out of it, and like, you'll have the benefits and all that. I tried that, and what was supposedly a stable, secure job, like I had several of them because I was working 3 at the time, they all gave me the boot because they feel like, oh, we're going to cut costs and we don't actually like you. You're not good enough. Like, you don't even deserve the money you're making, even though it was nothing. And so it's like, people claim that is what you should build your life on. That's what you should invest your time and energy on. But it can get taken away from you in an instant, even though people claim like that's the for sure thing. So if you build an internal foundation, with things like strength and faith and hope and love and peace and kindness and joy and, that aligned, inspired action, connecting to the divine, like that internal balance, being grounded, like that's going to be the foundation that sets you up for success. Knowing your worth, keeping an open heart, choosing love over fear and hatred and nastiness and division. That's the foundation that sets you up for success. Like, I recently stumbled across a video, and I'm not really sure why I clicked on it because I've never watched anything like it before. But this guy, I think it was released like a week ago. There was some new Pokemon card release pack thing, and like they decided they were gonna try to like not necessarily scam, but like mess with the card scrapers who like go out and buy out all these cards and then, upcharge them once they resell them because they bought all the stock or whatever. And this person was so concerned because like they were doing it out of lightheartedness and like because they got this custom art and they got it from someone on Fiverr, and then they printed it out and made their own Pokemon cards to give away. And it's of all these card scrapers that, had like famous ones that are like memes on the internet or something. I haven't seen them because I kind of live under a rock and I don't know all the memes and like current events. But anyway, he was so concerned like they were going to get mad at him and that they were going to try to beat him up. And like everywhere he went, everyone was so kind to him and they all had a good time and they were laughing and joking, and like they thought that the fake cards were amazing because he took holographic real Pokemon cards, used like acetone or something to scrape it all off so there's just a holographic back, and then he printed the custom art that he got from the artist onto like sticker paper and then stuck the sticker paper onto the cards, and it did look really cool. And like everyone thought it was hilarious and they loved it and like thought that the fake cards were better than the actual packs of cards that he was giving away. And so it's like, that's the thing. If we have the open heart, if we're coming from a good-natured place, like that sets us up for success. Like the energy you put out comes back to you. And he was so concerned, but that was a false belief. That was a limiting belief. That was fear, false evidence appearing real. That was a negative narrative that just wasn't true. It just wasn't true. And so that's how the universe will surprise us. The divine will surprise us and be like, hey, you think you know the truth. You think you know reality. But I'm going to show you it's quite different. Yeah, there are bad eggs out there. But it's not everyone. Most people are pretty decent. A lot of people are hurt. A lot of people are struggling. But most people are pretty decent. Okay? Yeah. Despite our creativity. And I think part of the reason why I stumbled across that video is because it was blowing up and going viral, but it's all about the creativity. Like, how many people are going to go out there, get custom art from like a fake Pokemon card maker and like do it of that and like hand it out, because he had like dozens of them that he was just handing out to other people, and like he did it fun with like a Who's That Pokemon game, and like he was very creative about it. So when you're tapping into that creativity, you're taking that aligned, inspired action, like all the success flows, all this good energy flows. And we should take more chances like that. Like he could have listened to those limiting beliefs, the fear, the false evidence appearing real, the negative narrative was like how he's going to get beaten up. But if he did, he wouldn't have realized the truth about how there are all these good people out there who all just had a great time with him and thought it was like really funny that he was handing out those cards and thought they were cool, And that's the same for you. What can you do Because there's going to be something you can do right now that is full of the creativity. It's that inspired aligned action. What can you do? Right? Again, faith is so important. It's so crucial right now. May trust steady your fears. Like, in the end, that guy trusted. He trusted that things would work out. And look, his faith, his trust was rewarded. He got a really cool video and got to meet all these cool people and make those awesome connections. They all had a good time. And that's what can happen for all of us. But so few people, it's like the saying, ye of little faith. So many people are disillusioned and disheartened, and they don't trust, and they don't have any love for other people because they just become so jaded and broken. But I know there's the saying, hurt people, but people have the capacity to hurt other people and do damage, but people also have the capacity to do good, to heal, to spread love and joy and laughter. So what is it that you're going to choose to focus on? What is it you're going to choose to believe? What it is going to rekindle your hope for the world? Because it's not all doom and gloom. Yeah, there's darkness out there. Don't, bury your head in the sand, but trust. Because the universe is working everything out in our highest good, even if we don't see it yet. Reveal. May openness lead you to connection. Yeah, that's exactly what was going on in that video. He was open. He trusted to go up to those people, to strike up a conversation, to see if anyone wanted to play along with the little game, see the cards, and that led to connection. There was an openness. The other people were open to it too, and they had a beautiful experience together. And that's the thing, the universe, the divine will reveal that to us if we're willing, if we have the eyes to see and the ears to hear, if we trust and have faith, if we're willing to step out of our comfort zone and to try new things. Yes, we still need to use our discernment. The universe doesn't want us getting into precarious, dangerous situations just because we're going to blindly trust and be like, everything's right. Use your discernment, okay? I had a blind faith and I've trusted the wrong people and I got burned for it. That doesn't mean I'm not going to trust people ever again, because I know there are good people out there. And I know that because I have that openness, that trust, that faith, I'm going to be finding these genuine souls out there. I haven't found them all yet. I haven't found the connections, the new friendships that I'm looking for, the life partner, but I know they're out there. And I know that eventually I'm going to find them. But if I stopped looking, if I stopped trusting, if I stopped believing and having faith, I wouldn't find them. Because I'd have those blinders on, and I'd have convinced myself, the limiting beliefs and the negative narratives, the fear, the false evidence appearing real, that they weren't out there, that everyone's bad. And that's why so many people, I feel like just lonely and bitter, because they're believing those beliefs that just aren't true, and the universe is trying to reveal the truth to us. But we have to decide, we have to choose. Yeah, the universe is revealing how we can shine, how we can let our authenticity just take us to greater heights and to success. May you be a lighthouse. You can be a lighthouse. It doesn't have to be on the grand stage. It doesn't have to be for millions or billions of followers. It doesn't have to be for this huge friend group or, leading a company or whatever. It could just be in your day-to-day life, your neighbors, your family, your coworkers. You can shine and be a lighthouse. You can show them that humanity is still good. It has its flaws. It has its shadow and its dark side. It has that dark underbelly that is very much there. And, everything's being brought to light, but there's also the light side. There's also the good. It's not all one or the other. And the universe is asking us to shine, to know our worth, to, connect with the divine so we can reveal that to the world. Right? Choose yourself today. Allow yourself to rest if you need it. Allow yourself to relax, to fill up your cup, to rejuvenate. You can make yourself a priority. You can know your worth. And to ground yourself, to create a balanced life where you're not overgiving. I've been there. I'm an overgiver. It's just because I want other people to thrive, but one of the big lessons for me has been the balance to also make sure I can thrive as well, because if I take care of myself, if I rest, if I fill up my cup and make sure that I'm showing up as my best version, I'm going to be able to help more people. I'm going to be able to do more. So choose yourself today. You're not bad for taking care of yourself. No matter what anyone else may try to tell you or guilt trip you, you matter. Yeah, your peace matters. Make your peace of mind a priority. Make it a priority. Your peace of mind and your happiness, they're inside jobs. You have to choose it. You have to make it a priority. Even if the world outside is like there's a raging storm and there's chaos and there's drama, you can still foster inner peace and happiness and gratitude and love and laughter and fun. That doesn't mean you're ignorant to what's going on, but it's just like, no, I'm not going to feed energy into that because I want a peaceful life. Your peace matters. Choose yourself. You don't have to put your energy where it does not belong and where you don't want it to go. It's your energy. You get to choose. Yeah, embrace who you're becoming. Because so many of us get caught up in who we still are / who we were, and we're not seeing the progress we are of how far we're going on the process of becoming, because it's not all going to be instantaneous. A lot of us want it to be, but it's a process. It's a messy process. It's full of progress, but so often we see the, end goal and we're like, oh, I'll never reach it, even though you've come so far already. So embrace who you're becoming. Just because you're not there yet doesn't mean you never will. You're getting there. You're becoming the butterfly, slowly but surely. You're leaving behind the waves of the caterpillar and you're becoming. Yeah, a brighter future awaits. So trust, have faith, connect to the divine, create a balanced life. You don't have to be in survival mode all the time. You don't have to be struggling. You don't have to be the one making it all happen. You don't have to have the weight of the world on your shoulders. You can create a life of your dreams where you thrive, where you are fully rested and happy, and there's peace and there's love and there's joy, there's beautiful connections. You can have that. But it's up to you to choose it, to start taking the steps towards it. Because if you're constantly pouring your energy in things you can't stand and you're making all these compromises and settling for less and you're dimming your light, you're not going to be able to live your dream life. The universe is going to try to redirect you, but you're not choosing it, But the brighter future awaits. It's coming, guys. It is. Okay, we have clouds, temporary problems, and that's a big thing. Like, that's why the universe is wanting you to ground yourself, to create balance, to connect with the divine, to strengthen your faith, to have an open heart, knowing your worth, having that solid foundation, because the problems are temporary. They're not going to last forever. The storm will pass. You are, again, meant for brighter days. They await you. Embrace who you're becoming and allow the process to unfold naturally. The universe has your back. The clouds won't be in front of the sun forever. The sun will shine again. Tortoise, slowly but surely getting ahead, yeah. You may not feel like you're getting anywhere, but you are. And like the story of the tortoise and the hare, the tortoise wins in the end. So it's okay if you aren't there yet. You don't need to rush. Take time to take breaks, to rest, to recharge, to relax, because it's going to help you keep the pace. So often, I think with running, like the people who end up like charging ahead and they're not pacing themselves, they get burnt out and they can't finish. But it's those who keep a steady pace and know what pace they can go at. They're able to finish. They're able to get ahead. So it's okay if you're going slow right now. Create the balance. It's going to work out for you in the end. Yeah. Jug. Lighthearted, carefree time. This very much feels like filling up your cup. Making more room for joy, for peace, for love, for laughter, for all good, these good things for rest. Because you're replenishing yourself, you're going to be able to do more. You're going to be creating this life of your dreams because of the energy you're putting out. Because the energy you put out comes back to you. You reap what you sow. What you put your time, energy, and attention to will grow, build momentum, and manifest into your life. So if you're spending time with fun and gratitude and love and laughter and lightheartedness, that's the kind of life you're going to create. You're going to be attracting more of that to you. So it's going to work out in your favor. Yeah. Money path. A path with money is waiting for you to find it. And again, it could be like the fish, the money fish, where you open the mouth and there's the gold coin in there. The universe has your back and is working magic and miracles on your behalf. So connect to the divine, strengthen your faith, and trust, because it is going to work out for you. You're going to be led to exactly where you need to be, and miraculous miracles are going to happen. Okay. We have October. So October is going to be really big for you. And I don't know if this is going to be like love partner connection, finding new friends, a new business, finding your dream home, a dream job, whatever it is. October is going to be big for you. So keep your eyes and ears open for that. And part of that, I feel like it's just us embodying the season of fall. October is in, the thick of fall. The picture on this card is even the leaves falling. So it's like, we are embodying fall. We are letting go. We are surrendering. We're not clinging on to the dead leaves. Because if we cling on to them, they become dead weight and the new can't come in. So it's all about trusting and having faith and knowing that new life will come again in the spring. But in order to get that new life, in order to have that season of abundance, we need to release and to rest, to restore our energy so we're prepared for it. Okay? Because we're going to be attracting success. And I think with October being a big month, like that's when we're going to start seeing at least some of it. Some of it could come sooner, but I feel like that's a big month. So, big things are coming, guys. Allow yourself to rest. You don't have to constantly be on the move, constantly doing. You're a human being. Allow yourself to be. Allow yourself to rest. Okay? I'm sending you all so much love. I hope that you all have a fabulous rest of your day. Please take care, and I'll see you next time. Bye.